I'm artist writer Michael S Garner, and I draw and write an online comic book called Visions of the New, which you can check out at visionsofthenew.com. There you can get a PDF version of the comic book, or you can read it online, either way. I do comic book related TV shows and movie reviews, and just to kind of get the discussion out there, and just something I like to talk about. And today we are going to do the second episode of Black Lightning, episode 102, which is entitled The Book of Hope. And as you know, the first episode, if you saw my review for that, I was taken back by it, and I love the episode, and I'm glad that they kind of went there, because they never really went that far with a CW comic book character, at least in my opinion. And like I said, I've been watching all these damn shows since they started. So episode 102 doesn't do any less. It keeps going. And from the beginning of the episode, when we find a mother who's trying to search for her kid, who is a part of the whole hotel from the previous episode, where Lala basically owns the whole hotel, and that's how he gets all of his gang stuff going on down, and prostitution, everything's going on in that hotel, and her daughter's missing, and she's just trying to find her daughter. We find out that the police are they can't really do anything about the situation, and Black Lightning's kind of frustrated because he did all that work to save his daughters, but all these other people are still within that gang and they won't get out of it, and it's just a mess. And basically for the whole episode, we basically found out that he has to make the decision to still be Black Lightning and try to clean up the streets, or stay with his ex-wife that he's been trying to build a relationship back with. And just to make a long story short, he's going the opposite way. He's going to be Black Lightning. Not that we didn't all know that anyhow. Whatever. But this episode, the things that struck me right away was like when the mother was actually talking to Black Lightning as his principal persona, she said, "Unless all of us are free, none of us are free." And that just was like, I know this is a quote, but it was like, that was perfect. And from that point on, it was just cleaning house. This episode, once again, the first episode surprised me. This episode surprised me because they cleaned house within a second episode of Black Lightning. In this case, as far as characters, the villains, we already got Lala shoots Will, the kid from the previous episode who kidnapped the daughters, in the back of the head. The police couldn't find him originally during the episode, and because Lala had him, and he had two of his gang members pick him up, brought him to a warehouse, brought him to some district, whatever, and basically shot him in the back of the head in 2 seconds. So that character is gone, and I was like, damn, they're going there. And it just continued throughout this episode. The stakes were just higher and higher and higher and higher, and you understand this show is not going to stop. And I'm glad. Once again, I'm glad. Very happy with this episode again. And I watched it really late at night. I was sitting there, and once again, I was going to turn it off and finish it today, and I couldn't. I want to watch this whole episode. It was kind of crazy that Will wasn't severely hurt when Black Lightning lifted him up with his electricity in a previous episode and smashed him down into a car below. I'm like, God, he's just got scratches on him. That kid's back should be broken by now. I mean, gee, I thought he was dead in the first episode, to be honest. When I saw him, I was like, oh, he's alive. And then I was like, oh, wait, they're going to kill him. So yeah, I was kind of surprised that he was even not more hurt than he was, but it didn't matter because they wound up killing him anyhow. Anissa, the daughter, the oldest daughter, being a lesbian, I was thrown back by that, and once again, I was really happy. They depicted that relationship really well, and the fact that she cares about the other person, but they made it very realistic. It wasn't like, oh, she's been in love with this girl ever since high school and everything like that. No, she's kind of just sleeping with her. And even the mother at one point said, "Who's that girl that she's sleeping with again?" And I was like, whoa. It was kind of like she was secondary. I'm wondering how that's going to shape up and everything like that. Lala, I have this in my notes, and this is the one thing. Throughout this whole episode, I thought that the mother, it was going to be kind of like, we're going to find the kid. That's what we're going to do. And eventually Black Lightning will come back, he'll come back into a suit, and he'll be Black Lightning, and then and the whole arc of this story would be for him to save the mother's daughter. Not the case. Because right away, well, a little bit towards the middle of the story, the mother gets killed by Lala in a violent, he just shoots her right up. As she's like trying to film him and trying to get some dirt on him and everything like that, because she's being proactive. She doesn't want her daughter to be lost in the files of the police stations and all this. She wants to solve this herself, and she confronts Lala, and he just basically is like, I don't have time for this. Boom, boom, boom. And I was like, threw me back. I was like, well, that arc is gone. But that made it more, that gave Black Lightning even more of a reason to go out there and to stop all of this. Because it's not going to stop unless he does something. And so I appreciated how they did that. I was going to say I had a note here for the pot smoking and the drinking that the other sister was doing. And at first when they introduced me to the episode, I'm like, damn, they're really like laying on us a lot. And then I'm like, no, it's because of the stress of what happened in the kidnapping, everything in the prior episode. And I was happy how they made that play out. Because it gave more explanation of the reason why she's like this. She's not just, she's not this bad kid. She's dealing with some issues, and she doesn't know how to deal with those issues. So she's turning to this stuff instead. Not that pot, whatever, or I don't smoke pot, but plenty of people out there do. Legalized everywhere. But I'm just saying, she was using it as a crutch. And I'm glad that they addressed that. What else? Love the fact that, I love the fact that Black Lightning, full-on suit, just decided to walk up to Lala's hotel and go in there and get him and beat the crap out of him, and almost kill him. He was ready to kill him until the police came in. And in that one scene, we see his friend, who's the police officer, come in and look at Black Lightning like, what the hell? Is that you? Like, that's his best friend. That's his principal best friend. At least that's what I think it was. Because they actually even gave an explanation on about the previous episode when the daughters saw Black Lightning right in front of them. Like, that's their damn father in sunglasses. They should know it's him. This isn't Supergirl or Superman. They made the explanation of the younger daughter basically said that she was in such a shock that everything was a blur to her. And I'm glad that they did that as a cover-up, because they were in shock. I mean, they were seeing people killed around them. They were possibly they're about to get killed by Lala. And, Will, because Lala left it to Will to try to kill them, and clean up his mess. And that would be an incredible shock, and it would leave a mark on you. So love that. But when he walked into the hotel, like, the doorman basically like, hey, Black Lightning, go in. And like, because people know him and he's been fighting crime for so long, they respect him. Kind of like the Luke Cage thing, but it looks like it's like that second level, because this is a guy walking around in spandex Kevlar costume, and they basically let him into the hotel. Everybody, even the person who's operating the elevator, is like, hey, you need to go up, because they knew he was going to clean house, and that's what he did. And in the fight scene, I love the fight scene as he's walking up the stairs and everything like that. It's like, I'll take the stairs. And God, and the last thing about this episode, other than still love the hotel, last thing about this episode that I really loved is that, like, I like how they're going to introduce the powers. With spoiler alert, one more time, we saw it in the first episode, but the two girls should both have powers. But the oldest girl is the one who seems to be emerging with the powers first. And it seems to be whenever she's brought up this stress. And there was an end sequence where her powers emerged again, and she stopped the criminal from robbing a supermarket, a pharmacy. And I like how they did that. She was basically trying to get some medicine to help her, and then she's like, wait a second. And then she realized what it was. She just logically, she's like, this happened to me. I broke a sink. and she realizes that the stress that she's feeling, the headache, whatever, is coming from that. And I know it's like that stereotypical scene, you stop a robbery and everything like that, but it was good for that character to do that. And it was kind of refreshing when I saw this episode. I'm like, they're working her right. You're getting to know her, getting to know a little bit more of her personal life and what she's with her girlfriend and everything like that, and how she's dealing with the powers, and logically how she's thinking out these powers. Like, I'm actually a meta, and I just, like I said, love that sequence. And Lala's actually dead. This is another thing about cleaning house. At the very end of this episode, Tobias kills Lala. And I'm like, okay, those are all the two major villains, so it's just Tobias now. It's just the rapper, and I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, I didn't look it up and everything like that. I know some people have complained that they don't think that he's very threatening. I think that especially when he lifted up Lala and just choked him, that little guy just lifted up Lala and choked him. So we know there's something possibly supernatural about him, or maybe Kingpin-like about him, where he's just like 98% muscle, but he just looks like he's a little bit more heavyset. Yeah, so this whole episode, I just want to say one more time, thumbs up again. Love this episode of Blacklight, and I can't wait to watch it each week, and it looks like it's going to be a great series. So far it is. I want to know what you guys think about it. If you have any comments or anything like that, are you liking it so far? Did this episode disappoint you, or did it make you even more anxious to see everything else in the rest of the season? And do you like the way how the arcs are going and everything with characters and everything like that? Like I said, cleaning house on this episode, like slam, everybody dead. Also, if you do want to check out segue, going away from that, if you do want to check out my online comic book, again, it is Visions of the New at visionsofthenew.com. Get PDF version, blah blah blah. You can read it online, all that stuff. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great